You're listening to Mad Men Sports, sponsored by Black Button Distilling. With the holidays coming, you want to give someone a nice gift. That perfect gift is a bottle from Black Button. There's a lot of holiday special drinks that you can make, specifically with the apple pie moonshine and any of their wonderful gins. Zach, Diamond Dave, what's going on, man?
Not too bad. Bills are 9-4. Had a tough game today against the hottest team in the NFL. And you know what? It's a loss. It's your fourth loss of the season. 3 of those 4 losses came at home this season. As season ticket holders,
Not great.
you're 4-3 at home. You'd like that to be a little bit better, but you'll take what you can get. You've had exciting games, except for the Eagles game. Every game's been close. You're right into it, right? Am I wrong? I don't think so. You had a high of coming off Thanksgiving, and I don't think today is a low. I don't think losing to the Ravens by 7 points is a low. You didn't cover, but we're not gamblers here. We're realists. I don't think the Bills walk away from this game looking as pretenders. Dave, what do you think?
Okay.
I think it's exciting that we're in December and we're only talking about a 4th loss. I think that it was I thought it was an exciting game. Win or lose. As we said on Wednesday, we didn't have high expectations for the team today. And I think they exceeded what we had because it was an exciting game. They played well. We were on the edge of our seat until the end, and that's really all we needed. They played the best team in the league today. I don't know what more you can ask. Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, looked like the MVP that he came into the game looking like. We contained him, though. Still had 3 touchdowns. I think the Bills' defense was great as always. And I think the offense struggled a little bit, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, I think when you hold Lamar Jackson and having an MVP season to 145 passing yards and 40 rushing yards, I mean, you got to kind of hang your hat on that. I mean, I know those guys don't believe in moral victories, but I mean, it goes to show that the Bills can compete with anybody.
This team was averaging 220-plus rushing yards a game. You held them to around, I believe it's 118. That is a fantastic stat. I don't think the Bills looked bad on defense at all. I think this might have been one of their best defensive performances this season. They contained the MVP to 185 yards. Now, 3 touchdowns, especially the one coming out of halftime, not a good look. But, a lot of short field. They were out there all game. The defense played well today.
Yeah, it was a scenario of I think the defense is just worn out. They were out. Offense wasn't doing a damn thing most of the first half, and they didn't do really anything till the fourth quarter. And the defense was just looked worn out there. They stopping the run today and stopping Lamar Jackson and Ingram probably took a lot out of them. It led to a big play by Hayden Hurst that led out of the second half, and that was just blown coverage. And the defense just, in my opinion, looks exhausted. They did the first half. They did everything they could possibly do. They needed help from their offensive help.
Yeah, and let's talk about the Ravens' offense. I mean, Mark Ingram did what he did. He only had 50 rushing yards, but I mean that's
3.3 yards per carry is not good. That's a great job by the Bills' defense right there.
Exactly, and you didn't see a lot of production out of the Ravens wide receivers because every ball seemed to be going to the tight end.
They were just non-existent today.
Listen, I made this observation very clearly before the game started, and during the game, it kind of hammered home. The MVP of this league is going to be a bad passing quarterback. Every time that Lamar Jackson went outside towards the numbers, he couldn't hit a guy for anything. Everything goes to the tight ends in this offense for one reason, because they're open in the middle. And that's a great play designed by Greg Roman. It's good by Lamar Jackson to find the guy, get it to him. But he struggles getting the ball outside of the numbers, and that's just something that he's got to work on. We're going to take advantage of. As Matt Milano said, we're going to see this team again this year. We got to get on this team.
Yeah,
and they did a beautiful job. You lost by a touchdown in a game where your offense did nothing.
McDermott and Leslie Frazier put a hell of a game plan together today. Like I said, they did let some things go later on in the second half, but other than that, the defense played pretty flawless. They got pressure on Lamar today, a lot of pressure. They only had 1 sack, but they got a lot of pressure on him. And Tremaine Edmonds had a hell of a interception that could have changed the game around, but again, the offense struggled today.
Yeah, and it's good. It kind of helped the Bills out with Mark Andrews leaving with an injury too. So I mean, with a heavy tight end integrated offense, I mean that's good to see as well.
Yeah, they went from Andrews to Hurst flawlessly. I mean, Hurst was an early pick for them, just like Andrews. This team found ways to make it work when things weren't looking like they were going to work. I know that sounds stupid, but listen, the Bills' defense was awesome today. I can't get away from that. Besides that one play for 60-plus yards, the touchdown, they played almost foolproof defense, and to the point where the one play, the first touchdown by Lamar Jackson, find me anyone in this league that's going to stop that. That's a great play. That's a backyard football play where the tight end almost dropped but got it, and then you play it out as such.
Yeah, that's just Lamar Jackson making a play out of something.
Yeah, and how do you guys? What would you guys grade the Bills' offense? I mean, we struggled mightily within the first half, kind of picked things up.
I would probably do a C because they did struggle in the first half, but they, as much as the defense kept us in the game, the offense pretty much honestly played mistake-free football. Besides the one mistake, Josh Allen made the best of what he could. The offensive line was bad today.
Yeah, I couldn't say that they
Very
made mistake-free football if the offensive line looked
The offensive line was bad, and we stuck to the run game, which I like. Singletary looked really good today, but again, your receivers were non-existent. Too many drop passes, but you can't complain when we're down by 7 with 2 minutes left in the game. So we were in the game most of the game.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Josh
they had
Allen was sacked
six sacks. Pretty
Yeah,
ridiculous.
and that has to get fixed if you're going into a very good pass rushing team with Pittsburgh. They get a lot of turnovers. New England, you know how that goes. And in the playoffs, you're playing teams that you have to just get the offensive line figured out. We thought we did get it figured out, but Josh Allen should not have gotten beat up the way he did today.
Yeah, and I know Dawson Knox with one reception had a couple drop passes today, but that 37-yard reception was beautiful on the sideline. Caught it in the crease of his elbow.
Picture-esque, yes.
That was very nice.
Yeah.
He's got to catch the simple passes, though, so
Yeah.
it really negates any nice pass that he wants to catch.
Yeah, that was a nice pass, or catch, excuse me. It was a great pass, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
He had the defender draped all over him. That should have been a flag even if he didn't catch it.
A little thing was Robert Foster was pass interference today because the refs I thought were awful, and the announcers were awful. Dan Fouts is a lack of a better word, a shitbag. But McDermott should have challenged the pass interference on Foster today.
I disagree.
He
I
was
don't think
criticized on
those get
TV, which
turned
I
over.
agreed with Fouts. McDermott, I think, screwed that up. We should have definitely threw a red flag on that.
I disagree. I think him not challenging that was more of a sign that he trusted his team to make that play disappear. You don't let that play linger. You don't lose the timeout that was going to be crucial later in the game. You don't lose the challenge ability that could have been crucial later in the game. That was you telling your team that, you know what, that was a 50-50 play, which I personally don't think it was pass interference. I think he did hit his head. Okay, that happens. It's a 50-50 ball. But the bottom line is Jimmy Smith was going for the football. Whether he did hold him before it got there, but if the flag wasn't thrown at that play, they weren't going to overturn it. Why waste it? Because you were definitely going to lose that. The most blatant pass interferences that are missed get turned down in this league. It's almost like a trap call to do the challenge play on that. I like the fact that Sean McDermott kept the flag in his pocket, told him, that was just a non-verbal, don't worry, I trust us to make that play up.
Yeah, I like it too, but it kind of just shows itself as a separate issue how inconsistent and ridiculous the league is with these penalties. You watch the Patriots and Chiefs game, every single play is a pass interference. Every long play, at this point, just throw the ball 30 yards and you're going to get a pass interference. Today, they didn't call pass interference for anything. They hit the quarterback a lot.
They did.
They
did the one play on Cole Beasley. I agree.
Which was 100%
I know you're going
interference.
to come at me with that. It was pass interference. Cole Beasley did act a little
100%.
bit, but we'll take it. There's just no consistency with these refs at all. It's a mess.
And you know what? To Cole Beasley's defense, you have to almost sell that play because he was getting a little pass interference. He got his arm ripped, but that's how you sell it. You sell it while the ball's in the air and everyone's looking up at the ball. You sell that play on the ground, so when they look down and think, "What the heck was that?" They look and see, "Oh, I'm throwing a flag on that play." I think, and you know what? The hardest part about this game is that the 2-minute warning happened. You're 18 yards away from a touchdown to tie the game, or at least become 1 point within the game. And the offensive line comes up short. Josh Allen definitely looked hurt today because we didn't see a lot of running today. I believe he ended up with 9 yards. Is that true?
Yeah.
He had a 2-yard rush and then a 7-yard rush. I think he kind of was limping around, gimping around. Hopefully he can get that cleaned up before Pittsburgh because he's going to need to be able to be a little bit more mobile. I think they kind of have a strong advantage against Pittsburgh, but they need him to be healthy in order to be he is the advantage. Josh Allen versus a fourth-string quarterback is going to be the advantage on Sunday Night Football next week.
Yeah, and guys, what did you think about early in the game, particularly on third down, with Josh Allen throwing the deep ball and not being able to connect? I mean, that's kind of been the narrative
Is that
from
the
the
Dawson
national.
Knox one?
I mean, there was multiple. There was Robert Foster.
Yeah, but the one you're specifically talking about is that the Dawson Knox one that he kind of sailed over his head when he was open. That's
Yeah.
you know what? I don't fault him for going after that play. He was open. Did he have the perfect pass? No, but that play's open. And honestly, if Knox gets the ball and he, catches it, he's got a big gang ahead of him. So
Yeah,
I don't fault him.
I think that's still a fact of he just had no time. You look at that play in particular, not just that play. There were several plays where he went deep. But he has someone in his face the whole time. He has no time to just feel comfortable back there. Normally he has 3 seconds. Today he probably had a second to stand back and just whip the ball around. He had no time to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think I saw like a thing come across the screen, and around the middle of the third quarter, Josh Allen did not have a clean pass for the entirety of the game. He was either sacked, hurried, or knocked down. It was definitely not a clean pocket, and when you are going against the number 1 team in the league, you're really going to have to kind of clean that stuff up.
Want to hear a crazy stat?
Sure.
35 blitzes today.
Jeez.
He faced 35 blitzes, and the offensive line didn't look like they could handle any of them. That was a tough play. And almost my favorite play that Dable called, which he did not call a perfect game by any stretch of the means. The best play was anytime he ran a screen, whether it worked or not, that was him saying, don't worry, guys. We're going to be able to get out of this. We obviously can't put our feet in the ground and stop these guys. We might as well rush it out, get the ball out there quick, and see if we can get someone downfield. So I don't hate them trying to get the screen game going there. It worked for Isaiah McKenzie on one play particular. I think Devin Singletary could have benefited more from it. He did have that dropped pass.
That drop was tough.
Yeah, that was. I mean, you're gonna have these games. The crazy part about it is they had a game where we're looking at certain plays and thinking, man, if we just had that back, it's a totally different game. And a 7-point loss to probably the best, hottest team in the league right now. I'm not mad at the Bills. I think they need to get over this. They can't let this linger for 2 weeks at this point.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, I think. I'm not mad at the Bills either, and you really shouldn't be either as fans because you shouldn't have had high expectations going in this game with the team we're playing.
They exceeded my expectations.
And the Bills were competitive the whole game. They didn't even the offense is what they is, but they did not give up today. The defense were competitive the whole game. They looked tired, but they still made plays. Lorenzo Alexander also had a great play, which we need to talk about. And also, I'm not mad at the Bills. We need one win to get in, guys. We're gonna get that win. And with the Patriots losing, it makes things a lot exciting. Really exciting.
Yeah, and we talked about it earlier in the podcast as well. Let's talk more in depth about that Bills defense. I mean, you have Tremaine Edmonds getting his first sack of the year, his first interception of the year. Was Lamar Jackson's first interception since against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Was that Tremaine's first of the year?
Yeah, I think it was first of the year.
I know I definitely had one last year. I can't think of whether he had one this year or not. He's been a stud this year. He's definitely turned the game around tenfold.
Would you guys say he was the best defender out there today? I think so.
I mean, you have to look at Tre'Davious White. I mean, he didn't get a lot of passes thrown his way, but I mean, obviously because
so if you don't hear about him, he's doing his job.
Yeah, no, of course.
Exactly. That was more of a tip to the hat that we didn't hear him today. He was great. It was one of his best games, far none. Matt Milano had one play where obviously he became a meme, but I think he played great. Him and Lamar Jackson towed off in the ACC for years. At this point, I trust these linebackers. Lorenzo Alexander, I kind of said needed to step up and have a big game.
Beautiful hit today.
He had a great hit. And one of those hits that you're like, wow, that kept him in the game just alone, having a hit like that to wake up the team. Tremaine Edmonds had a great flat run out in the first half that was like, whoa. There was a breath of fresh air that, whoa, everything's going to be okay. I thought that they contained Lamar Jackson so well. You kept a guy under 40 yards, which is his second lowest rushing yards all season. Second to week 1 of the Miami game when they were up by 50-something points, and he was benched midway through the third quarter. I'm not mad at the Bills. The Bills had a great game today. They need to start looking at the positives of this game roll it over into Pittsburgh, and don't let this game define your next 3. Let this game be a lesson that you can play with anyone in the league. You are no longer pretenders. If anyone calls you a pretender after a 7-point loss against the best, hottest team in the NFL, then they're full of it. Because this team can hang with anyone, even on their worst days. That's something that Bills fans really need to think about. This was not the Bills' best game. It was maybe one of their best games on defense, but it wasn't a full, complete game like they've been putting together for the last month. This was the Bills' most halfway mediocre games that they've played almost all year. And they lost to the best team in the league by 7 touchdowns. I'm not here for the moral victory, but I'm not here to strip down a team that put a week's worth of preparation in and did something that most teams have not been able to do this year.
Yeah, and let's touch on the Ravens defense as well. I mean, they were very sack happy today. I mean, Earl Thomas had his own sack. Jalen Ferguson, Jimmy Smith had one.
Yeah, when you blitz 30 times, you're going to get sacked at least 1/5 of them, apparently.
They must have saw a lot of weaknesses in our offensive line because whatever they did worked. Our run game kind of worked on them today, so we did run a little bit, which was nice. But they shut down, which we talked about on Wednesday. We knew they had a good defensive backfield. They shut down Brown. Besides Cole Beasley's touchdown, they shut him down. And we also had some drops. But there was definitely holes in that defense that we took advantage of with Singletary finding holes, Singletary making plays. It would have been nice if he got that touchdown there at the end.
Oh, yeah. And I do have to say, the Ravens special teams did a really good job on containing Andre Roberts today as well.
I have such a good stat. Sorry, it's another one. Now
Please.
that you bring up special teams, do you know what their previous high this year of punts were?
How many?
3.
Jeez.
Do you know how many punts they had today against the
At
Bills?
least 5 or 6, right?
7.
Gee, oh my God.
The Bills' defense did such a good job that they made them use their punter more than double the amount that they used all year. Today was a great job by the Bills' defense. The Ravens' special teams was out there and effective, but they didn't lose because of special teams, which is almost impressive.
Yeah. What did you think about Corey Bajorquez today? I mean, he had a couple punts, but that one was pretty bad.
You know, you have a bad punt. I mean, whatever.
It happens.
At this point, you shouldn't win or lose a game on them. And I don't think they lost the game because of field position,
No.
which in the beginning of the game, it was almost a field position battle, which they only ended up losing eventually because of the fumble by Josh Allen, which Deion Dawkins and Dawson Knox completely had no blocking on that play, which really blew up it all in Josh Allen's back inside. And
Yeah, overall, Knox had a pretty bad game, in my opinion.
yeah, it was one of his worst as a Bill. You kind of take your medicine with that one and move on. Hopefully he can learn. All summer, all spring, I want to see this guy in the jugs 200 balls a day.
The only thing really helping him out right now is the fact that Croft just
That's a lot of balls.
is non-existent.
He almost had a catch, or he dropped it, right, or what happened? It was-
Raise your standards.
Yeah, whatever.
Something on a deep ball.
I think when it comes to tight ends, 'cause since we're on the topic, Tommy Sweeney didn't look bad in the beginning of the season. I don't know why they shelved him. I think there's a lot of playing time to be had, especially in an inconsistent tight end box here. Jason Kroom never came back.
What's with Kroom? He's on the 8-week IR. We just not bringing him back?
Yeah, he never came back. Lee Smith is a penalty machine, which, to be fair, on that sack, if you were going to have a tight end come in and block, it should have been Lee Smith. I don't care about the penalties in that point. If that was going to be your play call, you needed to have him have that happen. But the bottom line is Dawson Knox and Tommy Sweeney should be the future of that position. I don't care if he's a 7th-round pick. He didn't play as a 7th-round pick in the beginning of the season. Bring him back in here now that Croft's back. I don't care about Croft. I care about production. I don't care about price tags. Get a guy in there that knows how to catch, that knows how to play in this system that's been here and active since the summer.
Croft's not going to be here next year, so you might as well throw Sweeney out there. Same time, you should figure out what's going on with Kroom. He played well at the end of last year. Bottom line, you need more tight ends. You need better tight ends. I think Knox is the future. There's obviously something going on with Sweeney that he's not getting in the game.
I honestly didn't see Lee Smith out there at all today, but he did have 13 reps.
He was out there.
He was out there.
Pat DeMarco was out there very sparingly. Same along the lines with Frank Gore. I think those guys are having a hard time seeing playing field, especially with the success of this shotgun, as well as.
I think the Frank Gore thing is
Devin
more
Singletary
of you
going
really
off.
can't. Why would you take Singletary off the field the way he's playing lately?
And the thing that bothered me was you get the ball on the 1 yard line there, right? And then they go to Frank Gore in an I form or a strong set formation, and then run it weak side, which just just take your 6'18" quarterback and run him up the middle at that point. You don't want him to take the hits, but why turn around and give the ball off?
I think my prediction is I think Josh Allen is a lot more hurt than we think, and I think we're going to see that come this week.
Yeah.
There'll be reports about it all week, I think.
He'll definitely
he looked like
be
he was in
ailing.
a lot of pain.
He'll be
watching
ailing,
TV.
but he's a fighter. I don't think he misses time at all whatsoever. I think this is the game where you have boom, boom, boom. You go Sunday, Saturday. This is the game where that training facility really, after a hard-hitting game, you play against an AFC North team that's clobbered you today. You go into the training room. You heal up tomorrow. You get ready. You start working on your book work. Get ready for the Steelers. Make this game count. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Dave, I know Jake and I and you talked about this all night, and we have a lot of
We
disagreements.
really don't much to talk about, guys.
And I really hope you have thought about your answer.
My mind has not changed.
But the Prima Pasta Pizza, Diamond in the Rough, on the corner of West Chippewa and Pearl. Check them out for their daily lunch specials, Monday through Saturday. Sundays are for the Bills games. Dave, who is your Diamond in the Rough?
Jake, who would you pick?
I would pick probably Tremaine Edmonds.
Zach?
I would pick the whole defense as a unit.
Well, it's a very controversial one again. This is his fourth one. Devin Singletary is getting
This is just a man
Diamond.
crush at this
It's
point.
not. It's not. He was
Just looking at the stat line.
he was the best player on the field, in my opinion, on the offense. Defense did let up some big plays, but defense played very well. The whole defense can't get it.
I don't know.
I would say Singletary is the reason the Bills were kept in the game today in the second half. He had some big plays. If you don't believe me, watch the film again. Guys, let me know what you think. Singletary wins it again. Congratulations. It was
defense is
and
why
it
they
was
were in the
between
game
him or
today.
Tremaine Edmonds, and Singletary got it today.
The defense was why they were in the game today. I mean, Hauschka could even got it. He had 9 points today. That's pretty impressive for a guy that doesn't even know left or right. And I got to be honest,
He's
I
back.
sat there at the game. Every time I put I couldn't watch him kick a
It didn't
ball
used to be
today.
that way. He used to be Mr. Reliable.
I couldn't watch him kick today. It was almost embarrassing because the people around me are like, "What's this guy doing?" And I'm like, "I can't watch kicks."
So let me know let me know your opinion, guys, if you agree with me or not, or you want to throw fire in my face. Let me know what you think.
No one's throwing fire in faces. Be sure to like and subscribe to our podcast on YouTube. We are donating $5 for every subscriber from now until January 1st.
$9.64 now, I think.
Yeah, and then
It's gonna be
Like-
It's gonna be a fun week, guys.
follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We've had some fire stats lately, so keep up with us on Twitter on that, and we also repost on Facebook.
We're a primetime week this week.
Yeah, we'll
Next
be back
couple weeks.
Wednesday. We'll speak with you soon. If you guys think someone else deserved a diamond, please leave it in the comments. Listen to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Take care and have a great week, guys.
Bye.